Disney Plus keeps kicking me out of the family account. Netflix blocked me once again for not being in my parents' house in New York. And YouTube is free. So I've been watching a lot of YouTube. I'm beginning to think that I'm the only one that's getting all these political ads. Apparently everybody else just has YouTube premium money. Wouldn't that be nice? Anyway, I'm off to uni tonight for the second half of the AI class. I skipped the first half last week because I wasn't feeling it. I'm still not feeling it tonight, even though they've promised me a light supper. Mostly because I'm afraid there's going to be mayo and everything. Why you got to be putting mayonnaise or sauce that is mayonnaise based on every single food? Australia, why? Let's see how this AI class goes. And I'll report back to you on this, what this light supper ends up being. Stay tuned and let's find out. This was an interesting week. It was filled with a lot of melancholy. I miss my brother. This time last year, we were traveling throughout Australia and New Zealand. And this year, I'm alone. I haven't seen him in a while. And he is one of my favorite people. So I didn't really get up to too much this week. And I was really bad about doing this part. Our little extended visual voice notes. Because that's how I'm treating this vlog. My friends know me for being that person that sends the 5-minute long voice note of what's going on. And I'm realizing that the vlog is kind of like that. That this really is just my 5 to 25-minute long voice note of the week. Besides the general depression that I had, I read a few books. Like I said last week, I'd gotten into reading physical books again, and my building has a little shared library, so I've been frequenting that. I read The Lost Flowers of Alice Hart. It's about a girl who comes from an abusive family and, you know, how she uses the flowers to talk to people, and it's like this long, generations long family trauma going on. It was still really good. I also read You Are Here, which was about 2 divorced middle-aged people walking across northern England and falling in love. It was actually pretty good. Oh, I had started with If We Were Villains, which was about a theater troupe in a university and a mysterious murder occurs. Oh, I had also finished the Crazy Rich Asians trilogy so I had read the first 2 books on my own. I have them both on Kindle. And then I had read Rich People Problems, which reminded me of my relationship with my now past grandmother. The Crazy Rich Asians series is really good. And then the one I read this week, which I sat and I read the whole thing yesterday in one sitting. The sun was out. I had a lounger. I got downstairs to the patio early, got myself a lounger in the sun, picked up this book, and then just sat and read the entire thing until basically the sun went down that day. It's called All That's Left Unsaid. Really dark and disturbing, and I think it only contributed to me missing my brother, because it's about a girl who is a refugee immigrant to Australia, and how, you know, you can grow up in Australia, but you're never going to be seen as Australian because you're not white and not born here. But basically in the book, her brother is murdered, and then she goes on this detective story through the neighborhood to try to find her brother's killer. Talking about being the oldest daughter, having immigrant parents, like all those things really. So those are the books I've been reading. I can't even remember which one I picked up next. It's like a fluffy high school, young adult kind of romance book, I think. I haven't started it yet. I also went to meet the girls from my university program for a pub Parma dinner at Father's office. As far as Parmas go, it was fine. The best Parma is still at the Birmingham Hotel on Johnston and Smith Street. It's hands down still the best. It's the best deal for the money. It's the best tasting one. It's got the tastiest chips, the best chicken, juicy and fried and delicious. The best salad. I would rate Father's Office probably on par with the Sporting Globe or the Spread Eagle as far as like decently average Parmas. The one thing, though, is they didn't include the leg ham in the default classic Parma, or any of them, for that matter. The only one that had ham was the Hawaiian one, and it wasn't the champagne leg ham, aka deli ham for my non-Australian friends. It was like thick Virginia spiral ham, which that's not a Parma. Yeah, and then I spent the day reading books, and then I spent a day applying to jobs. That's been fun, going back on that hell horse of job applications. Yeah, and then today I had all the intentions to go to the gym before my massage therapy appointment. I didn't. And now I'm going to get ready to head to the footy. It's going to be kind of crowded. I might bring a smaller bag. And like I said, I don't think I'm going to wear pants because it's humid out. It's very unusual for Melbourne to be humid, which also means I should probably bring an umbrella because it's probably going to rain tonight on my way out of the game. I better get ready because there's footy to watch, and I can't wait. I will see you all at the game. I stopped at Southern Cross to get sushi because I was like, maybe I don't want Hunky Dory. And I got a little overzealous. Back from the game, what a Snoozefest. The Roos must have eaten too many hot cross buns because they were slower than molasses, and the Blues were not any better, even though they did win quite well. Just getting falafel, and then I'm heading a bit early. And tomorrow we start all again, Super Saturday doubleheader. Did forget, unfortunately, to grab a snack for the game, and I suppose I could bring this with me. This is a hot cross bun, traditional from Cobb Bakery. They also had the chocolate ones. I had the chocolate ones from Coles 2 years ago now, and now it's time for a real bakery one. Thankfully, I could just buy one. Unfortunately, a single bun from Cobb Bakery costs as much as 6 from Coles. It is much bigger than the Coles ones. It's probably 40% larger, so it's got that going for it. It's also fresher, presumably. All right, let's take a bite. First of all, a little stale. It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Presumably they were made early this morning somewhere and brought to the location near me. But yeah, it's a little stale, and it's just like, this top is almost like a meringue, like a crunchy meringue. Yeah, otherwise it just tastes like any other raisin bread. Why? Why is the obsession? I actually don't get it. Last night, when I went to the Roos game, like the team commentator between quarters, was like, hope everybody is ready to go. Didn't have too many hot cross buns with butter. And maybe it would be better with butter. But everything is better with butter. So it shouldn't need it. If it was really good, it wouldn't need butter. A waste of $5.74. And now I'm late for the D's game. And it's hot out. So I either gotta wait for the tram and be even more late, or walk and be hot and sweaty by the time I get there. No guarantee I won't be hot and sweaty either way. But I guess people hyped it up too much. I also picked up 2 lasagnas while I was shopping. I got the regular ragu one, and then I also got a truffle one, because it was the cute guy who very charming, and he was like, we have a special truffle one. And I was already doing the 2 for $65 anyway. I think they were like $38 a piece normally. So it was not like that much cheaper, but it's a couple dollars cheaper. And I really didn't want the giant loaf of garlic bread again, as good as it was, or the tiramisu. So we'll see how the truffle one is. I think I'm going to eat that one tonight for dinner and put the one that I already know is really good in the freezer. I might as well finish this coffee, and we'll head out to the game. I'll admit, I wasn't super thrilled to be going to the D's Frio game today, but man, was I wrong. It was so competitive. They were both in it to win it. The D's finally had the fight in them. Frio just couldn't get that lead back. They got real close. They got within a goal in the fourth quarter. and the D's won. I actually wasn't sure I would be in Melbourne to see them win. There are 2 games today in Victoria. The Melbourne Freo one was the first one this afternoon. Like I said, great game, shockingly. The second one is the Tigers and the Suns. Now, normally, I wouldn't mind the 3-hour gap between the 2 games, and I would go to both, and I'd schlep out to Marvel and watch the baby Tigers take on Johnny Noble and the Suns. But Richmond has elected to start a player, Noah Balta, who pleaded guilty to assault. Basically, he beat the snot out of some guy and then pled guilty to the criminal charges, of which sentencing has not occurred yet. But the AFL suspension was only for 6 games, which has come and gone, but the criminal charges got pushed back 2 weeks. So there's this weird gap between finding out if he goes to jail or community service or fine, whatever his punishment is for assault, and 2 weeks that he is eligible to play. Now, I was a little concerned when the coach announced in a press conference about 3 weeks ago that he had no problem with Noah Balta coming back to play and was in fact excited to start him. I'm not thrilled, and I don't know if I want to support the Tigers in this, what I think, personally, is just a really bad PR decision. I firmly believe in voting with your dollars, and since I don't have dollars, I'm voting with my time and energy. And I'm just not giving it to the Tigers this week. So much talk on Reddit of people turning in memberships and canceling memberships and writing letters to the office talking about how unhappy they are. And I do not blame them one bit. Because it's one thing for the guy to have already gone through his sentencing, and then we know what his punishment is, and he can actually pay back society for his crime. And it's another to be in this limbo stage of we don't know what his punishment is, but he's gonna get to play professional sports anyway. It feels real icky. Otherwise, I'll see you all tomorrow for Easter Sunday. Let's go. Happy Sunday. Happy Easter Sunday, everybody. I spent today relaxing. I caught up with my parents back in New York and watched the Port Adelaide Power fight off the Swans. That was a really good last quarter of footy. Now I'm off to Marvel to see the Dogs take on St. Kilda Saints. Happy Easter indeed. The only thing, besides the fact that you can bring almost anything you want into the stadium that I don't think I'll ever be able to go back from, is that in Melbourne, in Australia, in general, so far as I've experienced, you can just walk in and out during an event. Nobody will ever stop you. Only thing you have to do is scan your ticket, and you can walk outside and then scan your ticket again to get back in. I am at Marvel, and the doggies are running away with it. I had a lovely dinner from Hunky Dory. I got the grilled fish and chips with a Greek salad, and it was so good. So good. It had no right. Serving that in a stadium, it had no right to be as good as it was, but it was. And then I was like, wow, I am really thirsty. Did not bring a bottle of water with me today. And then I thought, you know what? Why don't I take you all to Easy Mart with me? Which is right outside of Gate 7. Right out, you just badge out, go to the convenience store, you get your beverage, as long as it's not in a can or glass, and then you just bring it back into the stadium. They unfortunately did not have a good selection, or really any selection, of sugar-free beverages, so I got a water. And the water was still $3.50, and I am 90% sure that a water inside the stadium is also $3.50. So I didn't actually save money by exiting. And that's the issue with going to an Easy Mart. And now I'm going to head back in, but I'm not going to go in our row, because I think the end seats in front of us are open, and I'm just going to keep grabbing whatever empty seat I see. And I'm going to enjoy this rip-roaring Bulldogs victory. If you do come to Marvel and you do want to go to Easy Mart, there's actually 2 of them. There's one by Southern Cross, so if you exit gate 2, 1, 2, or 3, and walk to the train station, you'll see it. And there's also one here outside of gate 7. So you're covered on both sides of the stadium. And I'm gonna go hang out with the doggies right now and celebrate this great victory and the return of Bont. Marcus Bontempelli, the captain of the team, is back from an injury, and he's been playing great. This was such good vibes. I was watching the Swans and Power game this afternoon before I came here, and I was like, it's so nice just watching the game on TV, hanging out on your couch. You don't have to socialize, no awkward interactions, nothing. Just enjoy the game, do whatever you want. Then I was like, no, we gotta go. I actually paid the $10.50 to upgrade this ticket, so we gotta use it. And you know what? I realized it's so much better in person than at home. And I know staying at home is easy and comfortable, but you don't get to be part of that ruckus. You don't get to feel that energy and really enjoy the vibes of the footy. There's absolutely nothing like coming in person. What a festive little Easter. My little debacle with being let back in to the stadium, I ended up walking to the gate 5, and they let me in without any questions. Nothing. They looked at my bag, and they were just like, yeah, go ahead. Then I ended up going back to my seat. By the time I got there, it was the end of the third quarter, and I was like, you know what, for the fourth quarter, I'll take my seat, I'll relax. And when I got there, the whole family was there. They were sitting in my seats. The 2 old men at the end were planted. There were people that filled in the empty seats in front of us. And it was brutally hot where I was sitting. And so I was just like, you know what? I don't need to be sweaty. I don't need to be pushing past all these people. I went back to the gate that I usually enter and exit from and enjoyed the cool breeze from outside. Watched a few more minutes of the game, then saw that the trams are only running every hour today. Shocking. Actually shocking. I'm not being sarcastic there. I was actually shocked that it was, if I hadn't made the tram that was supposed to leave in the middle of the fourth quarter, that it was going to be 48 minutes for the next one to get me home. But you know what? I guess the footy gods are looking out for me because I did leave early. I did get on that first tram. I didn't have to get on the replacement bus. I made it home in one piece, and I'm ready to get to bed and do it again tomorrow night, where the Cats take on the Hawks at the G. It should actually be a really good game. And I will talk to you tomorrow. The Easter Monday Cats and Hawks game was an absolute nail-biter all the way down to the end. Even though I was surrounded by Hawks fans, some of which weren't even watching the game until the last 10 minutes. They sat on their phone the whole time and didn't start watching until the game was almost over, which, okay, fine. That's what you want to do at the footy. That's what you want to do. Baza freaking hit somebody in the face with a football. One guy got punched in, just knockout, KO'd by a guy that was going to punch the ball, instead hit him in the face, and he was just out cold on the ground. But it is an intense rivalry between the Cats and the Hawks, so it made for a really good game. Overall, though, what a great week. And I appreciate you so much for coming along with me for this ride. Because don't forget, you could be spending your time with anybody, but you chose to spend it with me, and that's what I appreciate about you. And I'll see you all for this weekend, which is Anzac weekend. We'll go into a little bit more about what that means and its significance in Australian and New Zealand history. And I look forward to seeing you then. See ya!